Bolton Wanderers v Chelsea, Feb 1977. Chelsea were arguably at their peak during the late 70s, and this promotion-chasing season in Division 2, now the Championship, highlights why. They always tried to take their rivals' home end, as was the case this day at Bolton's Burnden Park. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't, but they always seemed to try this tactic, probably more than any other firm, although Man United applied the same tactics but with much larger numbers and more like an invasion than an actual taking of an end. Anyway, we let two rival fans recount their memories. Bolton fan Mike told us, Chelsea had a formidable firm and been running riot all over the country. A lot of clubs had come unstuck at Bolton, but Chelsea was a different kettle of fish. Chelsea was bringing a large following of up to 6,000 with the vast majority lads. We plotted up early in the Trotters. There was about 50-60 of us in all. Lads were coming in all the time with stories that Chelsea was all over town and that they were slapping small groups of Bolton. Me and Mad Mick and Big Dave decided to go for a wander round town and see for ourselves. We only got about 30 yards when a large mob of Chelsea up to 80 strong ran at us. One of them pulled an axe out. We nuts ourselves and ran for our life. We managed to get away and headed back to the Trotters. It wasn't long after when Chelsea attacked the pub. A few windows went through. We retaliated by throwing bottles and light fittings out. This went on for a good 10 mins before the old Bill came. We heard this loud roar and we saw a large mob of Bolton running at Chelsea. They started to back off. We all ran outside and joined in. We legged Chelsea down Bradshaw Gate, where a few of them got caught and were badly beaten. The old Bill went mental, and they chased us with horses and dogs and legged us down Trinity Street. They was nicking plenty of Bolton lads. We regrouped and met up in the Prince Bill. There was a good 250 of us. About 2:30 we drank up and decided to walk to the ground. We heard a lot of shouting coming from near the train station. We all ran down and stood on the corner of Bradshaw Gate. Hundreds of Chelsea were being escorted by old Bill on horses and with dogs. Chelsea saw us and ran straight through the old Bill. We retaliated by throwing bricks and bottles at them. At first they started to back off. Then they just regrouped and charged at us again. There were punches and kicks going in all over the place. Bolton was getting the worst of it and they started to back us off up the road. We was getting kicked to shit now, which started to turn into a rout, and it was every man for himself. They chased us all over Bradshaw Gate and they did us big time. Inside the ground, Chelsea took the lever end and stayed in all through the game. Bolton tried to take it back but without success. Chelsea's mob in the other end also ran across the pitch and entered the lever, and that was that. No moving them. Lots of fighting in the railway end. Chelsea won the game 1-0 in front of over 31,000. After the final whistle, both mobs piled out and clashed at the back of the lever end on Croft Lane. Bolton was doing well against Chelsea until the old Bill got on top of it. There was running battles all up Manchester Road where Chelsea got the better of Bolton and ran them through the town centre. There was 20 badly injured, including a few stabbings, and there was over 100 arrests. Chelsea was awesome that day and was one of the best mobs ever to come to Bolton. Only matched that season by Wolves' last match, although they didn't take the lever, thank God. Chelsea fan Stephen told us, yes, okay, Bolton 1977, that was a spectacular day. We had hired a van to go up there, and upon arrival, naturally enough headed for the home end, known as the Great Lever End. Good to see Boltonians have a sense of irony. There was about 15 of us and we all got in no problem apart from one of my mates who had a rip in the back of his donkey jacket. Oh come on, we all wore donkey jackets back then. So Plod spotted his blue shirt underneath and he got sent up the other end. There was probably about 50 Chelsea in there, all keeping in ones and twos, nodding discreetly when we saw each other. About 20 to 3 we gathered in the middle and Greenaway started up a zigger-zagger. Then we got to the Chelsea bit and the whole end, which was pretty full by that stage, scattered in all directions. I don't know that a single punch was thrown. A bit of snarling, allied with the donkey jackets, was enough and they fled to all parts, even kicking open the gates to get out of the ground. This left us standing in this vast space, giving it large and feeling very pleased with ourselves. Meanwhile, up the other end were about 5,000 comrades, who were no doubt watching all this with glee. So the mass migration took place, and we filled their end for the entire match, singing loudly and from time to time reminding the locals that ideally we would not have been in that part of the ground at all. It all worked out well, because it was quite an important game promotion-wise, and from 2 down at half-time we fought back to draw, all the goals being scored in our end. But unfortunately our mate, he of the torn donkey jacket, didn't have such a good day. Somehow he ended up in the Bolton half of the away terrace and got a brick in his face for his troubles and had to spend a week in hospital as a consequence. Oh, and I got bitten by a police dog, but that little scar on my thigh is a sort of souvenir of a fun Division 2 day out. The dog bit me as we were chasing Bolton all around their own manor, even as far as the town centre. I mean, fair play, they tried to have a go back at us, but that day we were simply awesome, one of the best firms I've ever seen in my 50-odd years of supporting the Blues. Bolton never really had a chance. Neither did the rest of Division 2 that year. Apart from Millwall, that is, but that's another story. We thank Mike and Stephen for their recollections. It's clear from the evidence Chelsea did take the Leazer's end, which was a rare feat as only Man United in their prime was the only other firm to manage the feat. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and hit the bell for future video notifications. It really helps our channel grow.